Previously on the World Enduro Super Series, the Extreme XL Lagara saw an action-packed battle of the world's best enduro riders, with Johnny Walker and Billy Bolt going toe-to-toe. The latter took the win and now heads into the infamous Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble as the leader of the West standings.
I am the Erzberg, storied, coveted, infamous. I am the mine, still active and changing every year. I am the equalizer, amateur or pro, humbled alike. I am your nightmare. Treacherous, exhausting, hellacious. I am your dream. Legends are born here. I am your temptation. Riders come to hunt for eternal glory again and again. I am the Erzberg, home to the Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble.
It is the extravaganza they call the Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble. And for the 24th time, the world's best have descended upon Austria to crown the best hard enduro rider. As this is a working mine, the course layout has slightly changed once again. Let's have a closer look at this 31.8 kilometer track. Out of the start quarry onto the Wasserleitung, one of the many steep climbs. Onto the Sumpfwald with a new approach to Three Kings, which will definitely cause problems. Afterwards, riders go to work on the mountain's other side, where Machine marks the start of the no-help zone, where riders aren't allowed to receive outside help anymore. Then the treacherous Karl's Dinner, Die Grüne Höhle, Dynamite, and Lazy Noon. The race hits the home stretch towards the finish line. The tension is thick right before the start. Race organizer and Erzbergrodeo mastermind Karl Katok sends the first row of 50 riders into the race now. On the first few meters, TADDY BLAZUSIAK sets a frantic pace at the front and secures the whole shot. On board now with Austria's Aussie Reisinger, which shows how difficult it is with all the dust flying around. With TADDY BLAZUSIAK and American Colton Haker, it's a fast 1 and 2, but that's just two of motorsport's big stars at the Iron Giant. The Erzbergrodeo has been no stranger to motorsport's biggest celebrities. Travis Pastrana, Kimi Räikkönen, and Mark Webber have all paid visits to the town of Eisenerz and its famous mountain. This year, fans were treated to no less than 3 Rally Dakar racers: Erzberg regular Matthias Walkner, as well as Dakar legend Stefan Peter Hansel and Laia Sanz.
Erzberg is a very famous race. I was never here, so it was my dream to see the place on the rider. Also, atmosphere really cool because there is a lot of competitors, spectators, and everybody is here just for the passion of motorcycle. That's really cool.
It's something that I wanted to do since long time. I don't know why, but it looks a really nice event. The prologue looks nice, fast, and then the race on Sunday looks so hard and challenging.
A Dakarista display on Sunday rounded out the trio's time at Erzbergrodeo in style. Besides their spectacular show, the best news just might be that the Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble will be graced again by some of the best motorsports has to offer.
I'm excited to race in the prologue, and then on Sunday to watch the race, and maybe next year I I can come to race also on Sunday.
Row by row, more riders hit the track. Amateurs and privateers who make up most of these rows have a go at the 31.8 kilometers, with only a chosen few having a real chance to see the finish within the 4-hour time limit. With 50 riders already having had the opportunity to get out of the start quarry, naturally the gravel is already loose and makes it even more difficult to get up these difficult climbs and down the dangerous descents. Meanwhile, 5-time Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble winner TADDY BLAZUSIAK leads the field to Wasserleitung, which used to be an obstacle that caused some pro riders problems, but not anymore as the level of riding has improved dramatically over the past decade. Johnny Walker, Billy Bolt, and MANUEL LETTENBICHLER make up the first 4, as BLAZUSIAK makes his way towards the bathtub. The descent into the bathtub is a 45% decline, as well as climbs with a 45% gradient going up, and they're no problem at all for the pole. Just like him, all the riders are not only hunting for Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble glory, but also for valuable points in this newly created World Enduro Super Series. The World Enduro Super Series compiles 8 races in 8 countries, with Hawkstone Park in England being the latest addition to the calendar. Thousands of riders all competing in changing conditions for one glorious goal: to be named the ultimate enduro champion.
The WEBB series, it's a mixture of fast riding, extreme riding, hard enduro, whatever you want to call it, to find the #1 rider, all-round rider.
WEBB demands excellence in hard enduro, classic enduro, cross-country, and beach races with different conditions at every single race.
Red Bull Hare Scramble, the Erzbergrodeo, is the second round of the World Enduro Super Series. We race in for the championship at the end of the season, so it's all about points. Even if you don't have a great race, you still have to collect points.
It's a series that made TADDY come out of retirement in hopes of winning the championship. Mercilessly, race creator Karl Katok sends the other rows into the race as the conditions worsen for each and every set of 50 riders that hits the course. Unsurprisingly, a lot of struggles ensue on the early parts of the track. With the start of row number 10, all 500 qualifiers for the Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble are now on track. Not helping matters at all is the new layout of 3 Kings that challenges pro riders and amateurs alike. Back with the leaders who've already passed the 3 Kings and are on their way to the woods. These always tricky sections have proved to spell trouble for a lot of them in the past. Just like Billy Bolt, who gets stuck in a tree. MANUEL LETTENBICHLER capitalizes on this mistake and uses that momentum to also pass Johnny Walker. Letty now in second place with just TADDY BLAZUSIAK in front of him. And as TADDY BLAZUSIAK, who returned specifically for the West, finds out, the woods can be tough on anybody. MANUEL LETTENBICHLER and Billy Bolt eventually pass BLAZUSIAK, who knows the race can't be won in the first half, but damn sure can be lost as he tries to fight his way back towards the leaders. With another dangerous man inching closer, JARVIS, who's been almost invisible, hence the name Silent Assassin, starts picking apart the field from behind. Meanwhile, hundreds of amateurs and privateers quite literally get to know the dark side of the Erzberg. Even the legendary Erzbergrodeo spirit, where fans help the riders, can't keep them from the pain, suffering, and exhaustion. In the front, in the back, everywhere, the Erzberg is tough on bikes, bodies, and minds. It might not always be easy to enjoy this race, but that's not why most of the thousands of fans and privateers come to Austria each and every year. The Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble embodies everything dirt biking is all about. With the setup of the paddock, the town of Eisenerz more than triples its size over the race weekend. Amateurs and privateers descend upon Austria from almost 50 different countries.
This is a paradise for motorcycle riders and anybody who enjoys motorcycles. The energy here, the professionalism here, and plus all the riders helping each other. There's so much camaraderie. It's like bringing a family together. It's beautiful. I'm in great shape. My cardio is excellent, and I can ride the 550 extremely well. And I thought when I'm still young and I'm still strong that I should attempt to finish this race.
I love dirt bikes. I've made so many friends through Ireland, two in the UK here from last year, and a lot of Austrian person as well. You know, only for dirt bikes, I wouldn't have made these friends. It's the only race in the world that you get a chance to line up the best riders in the world. That's the main thing that I love about Erzberg.
Just to see how I get on, just enjoy it, nothing serious, you know? If you take it too seriously, it's no fun. So just have fun, just enjoy.
The traditional start of the race festivities, the Midas Rocket Ride, didn't disappoint as Austria's Aussie Reisinger was fastest up the 3 long climbs and won the super final, taking home his 4th Rocket Ride win. The Erzbergrodeo's 2nd and 3rd day meant business for almost all of the 1,800 entrants as they raced the fast and furious BLAZUSIAK Iron Road Prologue, which serves as the qualification for Sunday's race. The traditional raid on Eisenerz proved again why it's a perennial fan favorite. Race organizer Karl Katok led the biggest off-road bike array to downtown Eisenerz once again to thank the city for its support and hospitality. Day 2 of the prologue delivered some bad news. Super Enduro World Champion Cody Webb crashed hard and would have to pull out of Sunday's main event due to a broken leg. The prologue win went to Webb's fellow American Colton Hare, who was nearly 6 seconds faster than anybody else. As fast as Colton Hare proved to be on the BLAZUSIAK Iron Road Prologue, with obstacles getting more and more technical, he started to lose time on the lead group. Back at the front, where 20-year-old MANUEL LETTENBICHLER leads the field towards the machine, which marks the start of the no-help zone, where riders will not be allowed to receive outside help anymore unless it's from a fellow competitor. Billy Bolt, coming off his win at Extreme XL Lagares, tries to stay close on Letty's heels. In his rear view, Bolt sees Johnny Walker, who shows off some great trial skills. Machine, another one of the checkpoints that used to be extremely difficult, but riders now make it up there in no time flat. South Africa's Wade Young comes to Machine in 4th as he overtook TADDY in the woods. With the pole approaching the Machine in 5th place, BLAZUSIAK has had some problems the last few times at the Erzberg. Seems to be the case here once again. And then there's the matter of his longtime rival, Graham Jarvis, who stays on the lead group's heels. Meanwhile, disaster strikes for the 5-time winner, BLAZUSIAK. He crashes hard on snow. Yes, snow, and damages his exhaust pipe. He needs to get to his mechanics to take care of it and loses valuable time. The boulder desert that is Carl's Dinner. For the 24th edition, track builders made it even harder, with the addition of another uphill and downhill to make riders suffer even more. The German MANUEL LETTENBICHLER is first to come into the most famous obstacle of all of Hard Enduro. He's got a luxury that few people enjoy at the Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble. His father, Andreas, himself a winner of the race. That's his line spotter, who's trying to help him safely navigate through this wild section. You could just see Andreas in the background in the gray shirt at the tree line. Speaking of background, Billy Bolt has just popped up into Carl's dinner and already has Manuel in his sights. One of the new wrinkles of Carl's dinner is an uphill halfway through the boulder dash, with Bolt and Lettenbichler going bar to bar. But it's the German that keeps the lead. Not far behind, sitting in fourth place, Graham Jarvis has his eyes set on the podium positions as he gets down to serious business and blasts by Johnny Walker to take third place. Two three-time winners going at it in the back, and two hopeful winners having their own battle at the front. Both having a great race so far, even with the occasional mistake. These two young riders are setting a blistering pace. Manuel seems to be having some issues with his ignition as Billy cruises on to the next section. Only a mere 12 seconds separating the two leaders. On board now with Billy Bolt, who takes us through another wood section. Showing a little bit of impatience here as we get to see him go through a tunnel as well.
Why are you standing there?
Inching now closer towards Die Grüne Hölle, which translates to Green Hell, aptly named because that checkpoint caused so much trouble 3 years ago. Billy Bolt's refueling stop is Lettenbichler's chance to overtake, but fuel might become an issue later on as the German doesn't take on any. The door to Green Hell. Remember, 2015, it was incredibly difficult. 4 riders had to help each other up, and all 4 were awarded winning positions. This year, Manuel Lettenbichler struggles with getting up the Green Hell and immediately receives help from Billy Bolt, as he too probably realizes he won't be able to do it on his own. But even with the helping hand, the extremely slippery surface remains tough to navigate. Manuel Lettenbichler gets back onto the bike, but they can already feel the cold breath of Hard Enduro's silent assassin breathing down their necks. Jarvis goes up half of the Green Hell in almost no time and puts the leaders under serious pressure. With the top 2 guys still working together, Johnny Walker comes to Green Hell as well, and there you can see how steep this really is. Manuel Lettenbichler is the first to head out of this unforgiving section. Jarvis trying to stay close as well, but he pushes his bike up the hill. As Walker right behind him experiences more and more problems. Walker seems to be making it up as well as we rejoin our leader, Manuel Lettenbichler, who does come to a full stop. Lettenbichler does not have a technical problem with his bike. This is one of the greatest displays of sportsmanship, not only in the sport of enduro, but probably in any sport. Instead of trying to win the Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble for the very first time, he takes a Sunday afternoon hike.
I'm coming!
Letty returns to Green Hell to help Billy Bolt. Remember, Letty was in the lead, but instead he chose to show his true colors, helping a fellow rider in trouble instead of going for it all. And as we see Johnny Walker leaving Green Hell, he immediately gets into trouble again. He slides down too far and gets stuck. Graham Jarvis is the first one to make it out of the green hell, this treacherous section, and he will be the first one to head up the longest uphill of the entire Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble. Meanwhile, Billy's patience and pain threshold seem to be running out.
I can't steer my leg.
As he loses more than 17 minutes on the leaders in this section and gets overtaken by Wade Young as well. But Billy Bolt is also a sportsman and helps Wade Young to get up. For Graham Jarvis, it's the home stretch, the last set of checkpoints on the Iron Giant. The penultimate obstacle, Dynamite, awaits, and Jarvis gets up in no time. Still, on his heels, Johnny Walker. He's had a few more problems than his fellow Brit, but he keeps his chances of still catching him alive. Lazy Noon, the last major obstacle. Jarvis passes Lazy Noon easily. Walker does as well, but the 43-year-old veteran cruises to his 4th Red Bull Hare Scramble victory and becomes only the 3rd rider ever to get that elusive 4th win after an incredible ride.
So I got a traditionally bad start. There's so much dust, so I just got hooked up and lost quite a lot of places. But I knew I could gain some places, but I never expected to get back and win it. But you just keep focused, do your own thing, and see where you end up. And maybe a little bit of luck on my side towards the end, but that's how it goes.
Johnny Walker comes in second and collects his 5th podium at the Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble.
The pace this year was ridiculous. I stuck back a little bit and just tried to ride my own race because obviously that's what Graham does every year. So I just tried to do what he does, and he caught me, so I tried to ride with him, and he got away towards the end, and I think there was 41 seconds. So well done to him, and I'm happy with the way I rode.
Happy is the name of the game for Manuel Lettenbichler, who not only makes it up Dynamite despite ignition problems, but also easily makes it up Lazy Noon. He comes to the finish in 3rd and takes his best ever Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble result.
I'm super stoked. I'm over the moon, first big podium at Erzberg. It was like my 4th time of riding now, and feeling pretty good with my first 3rd place at Portugal, and now coming here and one more 3rd place. So super stoked. Was a tough race. We had to push pretty hard. Me and Billy, we were on it. I think we were just saying that we should help each other, and if we were saying it, for sure we will do it. So there was no other way in my mind.
As more and more riders all over the mountain try to fight to get to the finish line within the 4-hour time limit, Wade Young comes to the finish area in 4th place. Billy Bolt finally sees the finish as well after spending almost half an hour in green hell. And TADDY BLAZUSIAK, who, because of a broken exhaust pipe, had another day to forget, comes to the finish in 8th, still collecting good points for the West standings. Germany's Philipp Henschel becomes the last rider to see the finish 5 seconds before the end of the race. All in all, 23 different riders made it to the finish line, 4 Brits among the top 7 spots, showing once more their domination at the Erzberg. Dina Rudolph is the best local rider, with Colton Haker coming in 12th. With 5 Spanish riders also making it, they collect the most finisher flags from Karl Katok. Germany's Leon Henschel crosses the finish line 5 seconds before the race's 4-hour time limit is up. 2018 sees 2 fewer finishers than last year's Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble edition. With his 2nd place, Johnny Walker takes over the lead in the West standings. Jarvis and Bolt sit tied for 2nd place, with Lettenbichler coming in 4th. That's it for the Erzbergrodeo Red Bull Hare Scramble 2018. Next year, the Silver Anniversary Edition, 25 years. Next up for us is a classic enduro with Les Trèfles in France. where, after 2 Hard Enduro stops, stars like Nathan Watson and Joseph Garcia might be able to shine. Till then, I'm Troy Mannering saying stay safe everyone and keep the rubber side down.